And welcome back to Panthers Legends. Jordan Gross, number 69, here in studio with us. And Jordan, just great to catch up with you. Let's talk a little bit of football. Put you in the Wayback Machine. Let's go to University of Utah first.
Way back.
And the Wayback Machine. When you went to Utah, and I know you mentioned that from the time you were 12 years old, you had this idea that you could play football and do it at a high level. When you got to Utah, though, how much did you have to find your way, navigate your way, and really become, a football player that could end up in the NFL?
That's a great question. When I got to Utah, there was two tackles. There's a left tackle and a right tackle, like every team has. And the left tackle was the great example of how to do things. His name was Doug Kafusi. He studied hard. He worked out hard. He prepared for the game. And the right tackle was the talented athlete, partier, knucklehead named Josh Cochran. So luckily, I chose to follow the steps of the left tackle. And I got my shot my freshman year when the right tackle showed up late to the game. He'd been out partying the night before. This is back in the days when there wasn't as much curfew and things like that. The coach kicked him off the field, and I started at right tackle, never gave him his shot back. But really, that was my chance. My freshman year, I knew I had a shot, and then I got the opportunity.
So you Wally pipped him.
I did Wally Pipp, yeah. They should call it Jordan Grossing at this point.
You come out of Utah, highly touted tackle. You knew you were going to go high in the draft. Did you have any idea that you'd be a top 10 pick?
I thought I would be a top 10 pick. I knew at that point in time that the Ravens needed a tackle. I knew the Texans needed a tackle, and they were third, so I thought that was a stretch. The Ravens were number 10, and the Jaguars were 7. Or excuse me, they were actually 8. The Panthers were actually 9 at the time.
And that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that's a different show.
Yeah, that we really can't get into. Bottom line is, though, you were selected by the Carolina Panthers with that 8th overall draft pick. Did you know anything about the team? Did you know who John Fox was?
The only meeting I had with the Panthers before the draft, there's my wife Dana, that was a long time ago. We both looked so young. But the only thing I knew about the Panthers was that Steve Smith went there, and they had Julius Peppers. Those are the two things I knew. And the only time I met the Panthers was at the Combine for a brief interview. They never came out, worked me out. They didn't come to my pro day. It was really hush-hush, the whole thing, so I was shocked to be here.
Boy, you do look young. You still had the baby fat there, too.
There's a lot of baby fat on there, and I think I look sweet in that suit. I remember thinking I was pretty fresh on that thing.
So your rookie season ends up becoming one of the most magical seasons in Panthers history, really, until this past year. Did you have any idea, I guess you couldn't have, that what you were stepping into and the talent that was around you and what that locker room was really like?
No, I had no clue the talent level. I thought I'd prepared myself, and we'd had spring ball to kind of get a feel for it, but everybody was in their underwear, as you like to say, just the helmets, no pads. My first practice, I came out, and Julius Peppers gave me a bull rush to the chest and knocked me flat on my back, and my first thought was, oh no, I'm a bust.
What have I done?
I'm a bust. Yeah, and I signed up for 5 years of this. But luckily, again, I found a good example. Kevin Donnelly, who still is in this building, was so good to me to show me the ropes. Todd Stussy, Jeff Mitchell, all those guys, and I really just did whatever they told me to do and was along for the ride.
Well, you think about that O-line. So you do start at right tackle, and even the very first game of the regular season against Jacksonville, there's some turmoil. And Rodney Peete starts the game, and at halftime, here comes this Cajun dude rolling out on the field. It was at the beginning of the Jake Delhomme era and really that run to the Super Bowl. What was he like on the field, in the huddle, and in the locker room?
Well, it was funny because I never took any reps with Jake that training camp because he was the number 2 quarterback. We were Rodney Peete all the way along, so I knew Rodney's snap count. I couldn't really understand Jake when he called plays that first time in the huddle. But when he came in the huddle after halftime of this game right here, he just had such a confidence to him and a swagger that made us all believe good things were going to happen. And then he backed it up with the win that game and went on to win so many close games that year that he won. Not only did he win the city over, but he won the locker room over in an instant.
Well, and that was the Cardiac Cats. That's the year that developed. The team had to win the last 3 regular season games really to solidify a place in the playoffs. What was that run like, knowing, and again, all these close games? What was that like?
I've said numerous times that if I would have lived this season later in my career, I would have been so nervous the whole time because I would have known how unlikely it was for all those chips to fall the right way, how hard it was to get to the Super Bowl. But as a rookie, I just thought, man, this is great. This is just how it happens. You win close games, you come back at the end, Ricky Proehl will have a touchdown catch, and you'll go on with your day. But it was just, you can see we had so much fun. It was such a great group of guys. And when you still see anybody that was on that team, it's just like homecoming all over again.
You can watch more exclusive Panthers TV programming on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Check out Facebook TWC Sports Channel NCSC.